Alright, so I'm going to make a quick video on how to connect a DSM2 satellite receiver to a Multiwii board or NANOWII board. First thing you want to do is buy a DSM2 satellite receiver and connect it and bind it with a DSM2 receiver. Now, be cautious when you're doing this, because when I bought my DX8, it came with the AR8000, which on the actual receiver, if you look at it, it says DSM2. It does not say DSMX. Although it says DSM2, when I bind it on my radio, it says DSMX. And when I first tried to bind the DSM2 satellite receiver that I purchased, I tried to bind it with that receiver and had no success because it's actually a DSMX receiver. So the best way to check to make sure that you are using a DSM2 receiver is by looking at the screen. Like, for example, the DX8 has a screen here that shows you whether you're DSM2 or DSMX. So make sure that whenever you bind your satellite receiver to your receiver that you are seeing a DSM2 connection, not a DSMX. Once you've successfully bound a satellite receiver to your regular receiver, you can unplug it and plug it into the board here. You can plug it into this port of the board. I'm just showing you the Hobby King NANOWII board because that's the one that I purchased, and just plug it into there and you will have a working satellite receiver as far as the board is concerned. Now, to activate the DSM2 protocol on your Multiwii board is another function that you have to do. First off, you have to plug it in to your computer using the USB cable to this USB port. If you haven't already installed the drivers, you do so by going to My Computer, right-clicking, go to Manage. With the board connected, you go to Device Manager. I don't have the board connected, so it's not going to show it on there. But if you haven't installed the drivers, you'll see it in the middle section here. It says Unknown Devices. You'll right-click on that unknown device, which should be the Arduino Leonardo board if you're using the NANOWII. I'm just going to use any other one just for example. You'll right-click on it, and you're going to want to install drivers. I'm going to click on Update Drivers as a example. And so this is the screen that's going to pop up. What you're going to want to do is click on Browse My Computer, and you're going to browse and find where your Arduino software download is. So you want to make sure you download the latest version of the Arduino software prior to doing this step. So mine was Arduino 1.0.3 because that's the latest version that's out currently. You click on drivers under that folder, and then you hit OK. After you're done with that, you're going to hit next, and it'll go ahead and install the drivers. It may ask you if you are sure you want to install it. Just say yes, and then you'll have your board connected. Once you're done with that, go to that folder and open up the Arduino software. Now, once you open up the Arduino software, you're going to go File, Open, find the Multiwii 2.1 folder, and open up the Multiwii 2.1 INO file. Once that is activated, you'll see another window pop up. It's Arduino. You can close the other one and maximize it. You want to go to the Config tab, config.h tab. That's where you're going to find the settings for most of your configurations. You're going to want to make sure that you put Quad X or Quad P for plus or Hex Y or whatever it is that you're using to make sure that you are using the proper configuration for your multi-rotor. Once you're done with that, scroll down, come to the IMU boards and activate the NANOWII if you're using the NANOWII or Quadrino board or whichever board that you're actually using by deleting these backspaces or this backslashes. You want to delete those to activate it. And if you already have something active in there, all you have to do is just add backslashes to deactivate it. See, once you add 2 backslashes, it grays it out. When you delete backslashes, it activates it. Very simple. Once you're done with that, you want to scroll down slowly, and you want to make sure you pay attention, because there's a lot of information here that you're really not going to use until you finally see the part where it says Spectrum Satellite Receiver, and that section is, and I've already passed it. It's really easy to pass. Here it is. It's under section 3, RC System Setup. Spectrum Satellite Receiver. You want to activate the proper resolution for your radio, whether it be 1024 or 2048. When you first look at this, it's not going to be activated at all. You'll see it grayed out like this. You want to put take off the backslashes. Now, if you don't know which one you have for your radio, if you're using a DX8, more than likely it's going to be 2048. But if you're using a DX6i or something else, you're going to end up having to mess around with it. I'm pretty sure a DX6i is going to be 1024, but don't quote me on that. You can use a 1024 and see how it works. The way you can tell is whenever you activate your quadcopter, it's going to be very skittish, very like it's not getting all the data from your radio. If that's the case, come back here, add the backslashes and delete them from the 2048 to activate the 2048. Now once you're done with that, you're pretty much ready to go. Now the only thing is if for some reason whenever you turn on your quad and you don't feel like you have full power, or you feel like your quad is just a little underpowered for what you actually have, you want to scroll down even further. Now keep in mind I'm going a little faster because I'm kind of aware of where this item is, but you want to look for the ESC calibration section, and it's right here, ESC calibration. I think it's under section 7. You're going to have a couple of options that are already set up. This is exactly what you're going to see when you first get to this. You're going to see 2000 for your high calibration, and you're going to see command for your low calibration. Now what you want to do is delete these backslashes right here for the third line where it says ESC calib cannot fly. You delete that, and what happens is when you put a battery and plug it into your ESCs, the board will automatically calibrate your ESCs. Now when you do this, please take off your props. Don't leave props on when you're doing this, because if something goes wrong, it may go haywire, and it actually specifies here to make sure that you take off your props if you go to that link. So you can always go to that link and read about it and how to do it, but it's really, really simple. You just delete those backslashes and connect the battery. It'll beep twice, and then it'll beep once showing that it's activated, like if it's ready to fly. It won't fly. So what you want to do is after you're done with that process, disconnect the battery, reconnect the board to the USB connection, put those backslashes in place like so, and then reflash your board with the current software. Now whenever you're done doing all these settings, all you gotta do is click on the upload button up here and click on it and upload it to your board. And if for some reason it gives you an error that you're not at the right tool, make sure that you go to Tools, go to Board, and that you're actually choosing the right board. So Adreno Leonardo is what you should see selected. Now I don't have any board connected right now, but if I did, you will see a serial port would be active, and it could be serial port 5, serial port 4. It doesn't matter, it's going to automatically select the one for you, and then you should be ready to go. If you have any questions, just put a comment on the bottom and I will try to answer your question as best to my knowledge. If not, I can probably try to direct you in the direction of where you can find the answer. Hope this helps, and good luck and good flying.